The first one was an Irish woman in my 20s. The second person was in 20, 21, like that. Okay, 22. The second was a female from Calcutta, which was in my 30s. The third female was a female from Mumbai, Bombay, but based in Dubai, which I married at the age of 36. Okay, so approximately 22, 30, 31, and 36. Okay, so 22, 31, 36. Okay, now I'll explain all three. Okay, the first one was actually me being really lonely. I was lonely. I just went through a bad breakup with a girl that I really wanted to marry. You see, I wanted to marry many times because I was very lonely, and this girl and I enjoyed a great time together. She was from India. She had come there. I was a DJ. So she broke up and became complicated, and it left a deep vacuum, a deep scar. And those days there was this Yahoo chat group. So I was chatting in all these chat groups, and there I bumped into this girl. And initially, she was a foreigner. And, for me, wow, foreigner. In my 20s, oh, white girl, ooh, wow, It is very early internet days. You can imagine 20 years before. 24, 23 years before. Okay, so now, met this girl. And when I asked this girl for a photograph, she sent me some hot fucking photograph. And it turned out that she was a Playboy model. I was like, fuck, Playboy model. Oh, I was crazy about her. And next thing you know, she tells me she's from Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, Clondalkin, village in Clondalkin. And she's a Playboy model. She's very rich, very successful. All of a sudden, for an Indian guy who's living a middle class life in UAE, white female in Ireland, Playboy model who's rich, fuck, all my problems are solved. When you're in your 20s, you think like that, right? So I was like, fuck, dream come true. This is ultimate. And I was a young, stupid, immature, testosterone-driven bodybuilder. So we used to literally talk to each other the whole day. Now, those days, there was no free calls. Okay, there was no free calls. There was no internet calls. This girl would call me on my phone through the proper landline, and she would speak to me. I'm not exaggerating. She would speak to me for almost 20 hours, like 18 hours, 20 hours, until I would go to sleep. This girl was so crazy about me. In fact, I was like on 7th heaven. So every day she would talk to me, love, I love you, this, that. And then obviously as you go a little crazier and you're young, sex chats, and so obviously the closeness started. So now what happened was, finally, we wanted to take it to the next level. What is the next level? Being together. Now, Indian passport holder can't go abroad unless he has money. As not too rich. Only option is she's European, Irish, visa on arrival. So I told her, I gave her the ultimatum. You love me, you will come down here. Okay? So back and forth we went, and you know how it is. If you love me, you'll do this, otherwise you don't love me, blah, blah, blah. So finally she said, okay, I'm coming down. I was overjoyed. Okay, coming down. Then 1 week before she comes down, or no, not 1 week, 2-3 weeks before she comes down, she tells me, Loy, this is something I need to confess. I was like, okay, yeah, confess what? Would you love me if I'm ugly? Yes. Would you love me if I'm fat? Yes. Would you love me if I'm not attractive? Yes. You know where I'm going with this, right? So, would you love me if I'm this and that and this and that? If I had an accident, if I was paralyzed? Yeah, I love you no matter what. You know, when you're high on lust and when you're young and immature, you love the person no matter what happens. Finally, she said, okay, Loy, if you truly love me, there's something I need to tell you. I said, yeah. She said, I lied to you about my photograph. My heart sank. I was like, what do you mean? Saying, I didn't send you the right photograph, I sent you the wrong one. So I was like, okay. So how do you actually look? She's like, I'm going to send you my photograph, but mind you, this is after I had an accident. And she claimed that she had an accident with a boyfriend where her neck snapped backwards and she was given antibiotics. Long story. She made a long, big story. And after she took antibiotics, she gained 20, 30, 40 kilos. And right now she's under treatment whereby, you know, she's learning to use the faculties and she's in health, but she's overweight. So I subscribed to her story because I didn't know that they were blatant liars. So I believed her. And finally she told me she's sending a photograph. She sent a photograph with a baby. And in that photograph also she looked okay, decent, not bad. Okay. Now, until this time, we never have a video. This was my big mistake. And I'm stupid. Those days also video was not very popular. I don't think there was video. I don't know. I don't think there was video. But we used to chat with, just chatting. So finally, she decided to come down. That day I was DJing at Ajman Kempinski. My mother went to pick her up. When finally when I did see her, okay, now, let me give you context. So this girl is supposed to be slim. Supposed to be like this. She shows me a photograph where she is like this. Okay? When she finally comes down, she's not like this, she's not like this. She is more than my hand extension. She was so fucking fat. Such a fat female. You could say, I assumed when I saw a photograph, she was 50 kilos, or not 50, 60 kilos. I thought she would be 80. She turned out to be 160. That big. And I looked at her, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is so fucking big. This is so fucking... My mother was laughing, my stepbrother was laughing, and I just kept quiet. I was like, what the fuck is this ugly thing? She was so fucking hideous. Finally, I went home. She went home with me. We sat down to talk, and I wanted to tell her, please fuck off, leave. You know, what the fuck is that? And she started to cry, and she was holding my legs, and she was telling, you know, I left everything for you and all that. I was like, listen, I can't accept this. What the fuck is this? And she kept crying, holding my legs, and please don't leave me, and please don't throw me out, and this and that. My mother and father were enjoying. They didn't know what the fuck to think. They were laughing. So finally, I kept quiet. Next day, I didn't want to talk. Little did I know, I'll fast forward a bit, that this female was busy trying to absorb my parents' mentality. And before I know it, she managed to win them over. What she told them was she was going to get them a white passport, citizenship. She was going to take them abroad. She had a big business. What she, later on, you know, every day she would prepare food for me. She would take care of me. She would massage me. She would literally, like, you know, press my legs when I'm going to sleep, lie down next to me. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, this girl is like treating me like I'm a king. Okay? So I was like, wow, this girl is... And even though she was fat and ugly, soon she started to lose weight because, you know, not that she lost massive weight. If she was 160, maybe she lost 20, 30 kilos. Okay, whatever. She was losing weight really fast, but she didn't become slim. Soon we started to get close, and, you know, obviously she did everything to keep me happy, including giving great blowjobs. Okay? So, well, okay, I was enjoying whatever. Finally, she told me that you can change your career, you can come abroad, you can have a new life. For me, it was like, oh, wow, have a new life, have a Gora passport, have a... So she played on my weakness. She played on my parents' weakness. And before you know it, we decided to get married because she promised me a great life. She's very rich, remember, very rich, successful, this, that. However, that is where cracks started to come in. When my parents wanted some condition, terms and conditions, she should listen to them. And when you're in love or whatever, you always have to take sides. So I took her side. Parents got angry with me. And remember, I was running a business. I was a DJ. We broke up that business. Parents were pissed off that I was leaving everything and going. So I decided to, okay, leave the parents, send everything there. Now she went to Dublin first, Ireland. I was supposed to go next. And then she told me, why don't you send all your stuff? I said, okay. I didn't have so many bookshelves like I have now. I just had one bookshelf. Plus my computer, everything, I sent it. Plus all my clothes, everything I sent it. I sent everything on TR, transfer of residence, TR. And obviously we got married in the church, and she managed to authenticate the marriage, and I managed to get a visa to go to Dublin, Ireland. Now, before I leave, my first wife, managed to convince me, cancel the visa. I said, cancel the visa for what? She said, cancel the visa so you don't have to come back. So you want me to come there, cancel the visa, then I can never come back. So yeah, if you love me, why do you want to keep, anything to come back? If you love me, trust me 100%. I didn't see the logic in this because I had a company. But I listened to her and I cancelled the visa also. Now I cancel the visa, I cancel everything. Now, 24 hours, I'm supposed to leave the next day. Full in love, everything is perfect. She's rich, transferred all the money, transferred my stuff. Now this is a gap of 1 month and I've not been staying with my parents. Because of her, I had a fight. Just 24 hours before I leave, I remember this very clearly, 8 o'clock in the night. 8 o'clock in the night, she says, I want to chat with you on the internet. I said, okay, fine. So I went to a cafe shop. Now, remember this, huh? My flight is booked, visa is cancelled. I have to leave the country next day. So she says, come online. I go to an internet cafe. And there, as I'm talking, she tells me, listen, when you come here, you're going to tell my parents that you forced me to get married. So she's telling me to tell her parents that I forced her. I said, what do you mean forced you to get married? Saying, yeah, because my parents are conservative. And you're going to tell my parents that I didn't stay with you, I stayed with one of your friends. Okay, and why force? Yeah, you convinced me to get married to you, I didn't want to get, but you forced me and that's how we got married. I told her, see, listen, when you're starting a new relationship, we start on a foundation of the truth, not lies. I'll talk to your parents, I'll convince them, whatever it is. Now, until now we are talking nicely, lovey-dovey, all this time. All of a sudden she says, listen, motherfucker, or something. That's the language, huh? Listen, motherfucker, if you can't listen to what I say, you can fuck off. I'm going to cancel your visa. I want to make sure that you cannot come into the country. You can just fuck off. I don't need you here. I don't want to deal with shit and this and that. I'll tell you, suddenly I felt blood drain from my system. I felt my hands shiver. I felt like, like ants are going in your hand and head. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it canceled my visa, shut down my business, broke off from everything. I have to leave the country. In Dubai, without a visa, you can't survive. I totally put my life up and down and sent her all my stuff. And now she's telling me, either do this or fuck off. I was like, who the fuck did I get married to? What was happening? It didn't make sense. And she disconnected, huh? I literally kept calling and please just pick up the phone, pick up. Finally, she came online. So I said, okay, tell me what. So when you come here, you're going to listen to whatever I say. And that's it. You're going to say whatever I tell you to say. I was like, okay. I'll tell you, the whole night I didn't sleep. I was looking up at the ceiling. I was like a zombie. I didn't know what the fuck to do. As I left the airport, my mother, she left me to the airport and she was sobbing and crying because it was the first time that we were kind of having a distance between us in all these years. And she was completely devastated because the business was doing well and she didn't want me to go, So I think that was the first time I actually knew that my mother had some feelings for me. So she cried like mad, but I was in a zombie state, like, what the fuck am I moving to? And it was nighttime. So I left. I sat in the aircraft. I think it was Emirates. I'm telling you, I was in a zombie state. I didn't know what the fuck was I doing. I landed in London, from London connecting flight. As soon as I landed in Dublin, She came to pick me up, and then she took me to a house. When she took me to a house, everyone, her family, they were looking at me rather strange because, as per her story, I had forced her to get married. And they didn't know what to do. And to my shock and surprise, I found out her boyfriend was also staying, her ex-boyfriend, whatever. He was also staying there. I was like, what the fuck is this? What dynamics is this? So overall, what happened was, in a nutshell, this girl turned out to be a blatant liar. Everything she had told me, she had told her family was a lie. She had used her boyfriend to fund the trip to come to Dubai. You know, the phone bill that she used to talk to me for 20 hours a day and she claimed she was rich. Boyfriend used to pay her money. All the stories that she a Playboy model was all bullshit. The accident that she had was a lie. Everything was a lie. She told her parents she's going to Dubai for work. She had taken money from her boyfriend for that, ex-boyfriend or whatever. And her getting married was, nobody knew. And when she landed only, she told them she had got married. And she told him she got married to me only because she wanted to get me here to Dubai. When I told her parents everything, the truth finally, you know what did the parents tell me? Okay, fine, it was a mistake. You can go back to your country. What? Where the fuck do I go? What the fuck do I do? I gave up everything. I left my place in UAE. I fought with everyone. I stood by her. They ended up putting me in one small fucking house which was given to them by the county for her sister who had multiple babies. Oh, my life was a disaster, I'll tell you. I used to literally eat from the dustbin. I'll tell you, it was that bad. I suffered immensely, to the point where I suffered for a year. I was literally eating scraps. It was a horrible, horrible phase in my life. It was a horrible phase. And finally, you know, my mother is to literally tell me to come back. And hey dog, stop barking. I'm recording, man. So I literally, I couldn't take it anymore. And the mistake that I did was my mother kept telling me, come back. You live like a king here in UAE and this and that. I should have continued. Maybe I would have got the citizenship or whatever. But I came back. But the only thing is, in Dublin, Ireland, the only jobs I was getting was cleaner, standing behind the counter, security guard. It was a very lonely life. And the only other thing was, you'll find this funny, I was actually targeting, the only job was to be a bus driver. Because that was the only option available for me. So, in hindsight, when I look at it, okay, fine, it was an experience. But what I realized is that female had mental issues. She, not only mental issues, there are some people who love to blatantly lie. Horrible liars, and she was one of them. After that, I think, had multiple relationships, and today she is, successful businesswoman. But relationship-wise, I think, I don't know, as far as I know, she has a business that's running well, but her relationships are totally fucked up. So that is her life. So, this was wife number 1, Irish. Long story. Let's move on to wife number 2.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.